Welcome to the Batman Book Club. Well, today we're going to talk about Cape St. Times. How is everybody doing? If you're listening to my podcast, hello.
All right, there's the cold open.
All it takes is one bad day. You've eaten Gotham's wealth, its spirit, but your feast is nearly over.
This is not my home. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon.
Why aren't you laughing? From this moment on, none of you are safe.
Welcome to the Batman Book Club, a podcast exploring the Dark Knight Library. I'm your host, Ryan Lauer. The Batman Book Club is a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Just go to batmanonfilm.com, click on podcasts, and you'll find the Batman Podcast Network that has a whole list of other Bat-related shows that also like to dive into other nerdy subjects that we all love to frolic about in our free time. Batman Book Club is also on Patreon, so if you like what's going on with the show and you want to help support the show and keep those generators running in the Wayne Manor study, just go to patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Now, thank you for listening to episode number 180. It's not one bad day. It's Batman in November. It's the time for that monthly wrap-up. And joining me, yet again, it's not Paul Herman. We've had enough of Paul Herman for this month. Let's get back on track. Let's get the old Ducaroo. It's our favorite Italian, Peter R. Verra. Hello, Peter.
Am I the first show without Paul Herman this month?
You are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Paul Herman's the reason the Seattle Supersonics moved to Oklahoma and became the Thunder.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
Because
they were
I
like,
always liked the name of
who is this guy?
Seattle
We don't
Supersonics.
want this guy in our fan base. We can't stand this guy, Paul, so we're going to move to Oklahoma.
Wow.
And
All right.
that's it. So if anyone in Seattle doesn't know why the Sonics moved, it's because of Paul Herman.
The Supersonics.
Yeah,
Seattle
back in the day.
Supersonics. Good old Gary Payton.
Oh, yeah, Gary. Yeah, I mean the classic jerseys. I love the green and the yellow.
Mhm.
Even when Peyton and Kemp went to the finals, they had that dark green and it was like a burgundy, maybe.
Mhm.
Those were cool, but the old green and yellows.
Yeah,
It's crazy. We only got 1 year Durant.
it's a shame. What year was that? When did they move to?
Oh, dude, it doesn't feel like 40 years ago.
Yeah, it does. That's why
I don't
I even had
remember.
to ask. It's like I
don't even
remember when they were
But
Seattle. I don't know.
think about it. If it wasn't for Paul Herman, the Sonics never would have moved, and Kevin Durant would have been a one team for his entire career. The entire landscape of the NBA would have been changed. So, I mean, the Warriors probably only win 3 titles.
Each time we do, each
And
time
it's
we
Paul
do a
Herman's
wrap
fault.
up, I think each time we do a wrap up, we can do a Durant check in and be like, which team is he with now?
Yeah.
And how does
by December? If
how does
Devin Booker
how does
gets
Paul
hurt
feel?
and the Suns fall
No.
out of it, are the Suns even in it? Like I know this isn't an NBA show, but I know the
Starting this month.
the in-season tournament started, and I looked at the teams in it, and I was like, I saw the Pacers were the number 2 team on the East side, and I was like, they're like 9. No, they're not. They're an average team. I'm looking up. They're like 6 seed in the conference, but for the in-season tournament, they're undefeated.
In-season
So they're number
tournament.
2.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so stupid. I don't want to
Good
watch
stuff.
this. My
And
team's the
all
team
of
seed.
it, all of it, Paul Herman's fault.
Oh yeah, well, definitely the Durant stuff. That's all Paul Herman.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, it was a hefty load of me and Paul this month on the Batman Book Club, visiting the One Bad Day books. Pete, I'd mentioned on those episodes of, like, obviously you and I talked about them during the wrap-ups when they came out, but Paul and I were able to dive a little bit deeper into those. So it was a big ask that people would actually listen to.
How
me
was
and
he on
talk
them? I
a
felt like I
lot.
was 50-50.
He
Yeah.
was, I mean, there was like one, I think, that he didn't think that highly of. And then I think everything else ranged from fine to great.
Okay.
And I think I was pretty similar too. I forget. I need to go back and see how, when you and I ranked them after they all came out, what I'd said.
I remember I was one of the few who did not like the Riddler story.
You didn't like the Riddler.
Yeah.
Bottom for me ended up on a reread was Catwoman, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And
I
then
remember I liked that one a lot. I like the Bane one too.
Penguin and Clayface stayed at the top because they're
Freeze I thought was
almost
a little mid.
perfection. Yeah,
Yeah, that Penguin story was really good. That was written
great
by
stuff. Ridley.
oh my god. Yeah, Mr. Ridley. He did that. That was a fantastic entry. That was like when we were thinking of when we did our Penguin show for BOF, that was kind of one of the things I was like most recent. Like I was like, this is a great Penguin story. Like I think it stands amongst with
Put up there with some of the best.
Time.
Good call.
Yeah.
I'll plug away real quick that check out batmanonfilm.com where Pete, we flipped. You hosted, I guested, I frolicked, and we talked about the Penguin TV series, and we even talked some Penguin. We made it the Penguin book club. Talked some eyes on there.
I've been rotating. Batman's kind of there's no real Batman news, so it's been the Aquaman on Film Club,
Aquaman,
and Penguin in print.
Yeah. Hey, good stuff. So
the hype trains. I'm the conductor on 2 hype trains.
Batman on Film. Check out the podcast feed because Pete's all over it, spreading the word. The word is not panic. There it is. The word is louder. Okay, Pete. It's funny because it seems like it's been a while. It's been a while since you and I have actually done like a wrap up. In reality, it's been the same month the same length of time as it always is. But it's
been 30 days.
there's been so much talking with Paul Herman that I haven't. It feels like I haven't talked to you in a while, even though just a couple of days we actually
the West Coast Lip. So. That's what they call them. The West
Coast Lip.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Let's dive in then, Pete. Let's talk some Batman comics in November. Now we're going to kick it off, as we always do, one of the main titles for our Dark Knight, the Batman title. And issue number 139 came out that first week of the month, or that first Tuesday of the month. This is where a big one kicks off. Mind Bomb, Part 1. Chip Zdarsky, Jorge Jimenez, colors by Tomeu Mori. This is where it kind of feels like this is where the full Zur is really going to come to the forefront in this arc. And I'm trying to think, is that Joker year 1 coming in 142? Is that when it starts? Or 143? It's a 3-issue arc. It made a bunch of headlines this month. Because we got.
I know what you're talking about.
Look,
I don't really pay attention to those because then everyone freaks out. I'm just like, I'll just get to it when they ship the book.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think. This Mind Bomb, then, is it going to be a 3-part arc or is it going to be 4-part arc or something? So it just feels like the Zur&R stuff is really, as it has been with Zdarsky, it's been present. It seems like definitely by this issue's end that it's being ramped up. I gotta say that I actually really liked this issue up until
you dropped your Skittles on your book.
And then it was like, but I'm a broken record. I don't want to be annoying, and like there are people who like Zur&R and stuff. Cool, great, whatever. It just doesn't work. I'm like, bah. I really like the issue up until then. There's some basically you'd almost call it like the title card that has Batman Mind Bomb, and actually Jorge Jimenez, he tweeted out the picture without the text on it, and I saved it because I think that is freaking awesome.
That is called a lock screen.
Yeah, that is an awesome image. Even in black and like without the coloring, it looks awesome. With the coloring, it looks awesome. Jimenez, you and I have always said like if we haven't liked an issue, it's never been his fault. We've always loved his work, and I think here he looks great.
Like Karl Malone. He needs someone to get him to the title.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, nice.
Dan Marino.
Sticking with the basketball theme. No. Go back to basketball. Let's keep it basketball. Okay.
He's Karl Malone. John Stockton.
Yeah. I like the murder mystery aspect here. It's the Joker, Batman going to investigate, which looks great. Like all of that is just
I love the detective work.
Great stuff.
I love throughout the book. That's one of my favorite aspects. The searching, the flashlight stuff. Like seeing Batman use a flashlight's just really cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because right, like he's in a dark place, he can't see it. it feels very Sherlock Holmes. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just feels like
It feels very
and that's
Batman,
what
like
it just
Detective
does.
Batman.
Like I
Looks
like it. I
awesome.
like him being on the crime scene. You know, I'm
I
I'm
I
with
was gonna
you.
say I do enjoy how he's oh, where's the note? So yeah, when he's investigating, gets this house and it's Daniel Captio, Master Karigi, Avery Oblonsky, more
Mhm.
mentors from my youth, and a star. And it says, check out Batman the Night to learn more. No. I'm like, nope. Pete and I closed the book on that series. We're done. Moving
Yeah.
on.
I
But
mean,
then
at least it references the parts I liked.
yeah, that's true. And then the next page, and then I'll hush and I'll let you talk. When Joker is like peeking through that floorboard, another freaking
Mhm.
awesome panel by
Yeah.
Jimenez. That's I'm
I
like
also like all these
great.
flying babies. Like, like
Well,
it's
all right.
it feels it reminds me because I really like the Flash movie, but it also kind of like when he's like walking through. I'm going back to like the flashlight thing.
Sure.
It also feels very Blade Runner. Like I'm thinking
Yeah.
of like Deckard looking like it's that's what strikes me because it feels like when they first find Pris. Um, I like the story I'm with you up until the Zur and R stuff. I still forget Batman is living in a brownstone.
Yeah.
It's well, not anymore now. It looks like he's living more in an apartment. Like it's not really my thing. I wish we can get status quo Batman back. Like I would like him to be in Wayne Manor or Wayne Tower or something like that. Batman living in an apartment seems like he's not Peter Parker. Like I
Yeah.
know
I'm ready to move
financial
on from that.
right now, but I'm ready to like pick that up. I also like all the editor's notes throughout the book. I mean, like I appreciate that stuff because it even happens in Nightwing. I'll take a screenshot, go to the comic book shop, I'll pick up the book, hopefully, and try to put the pieces together. That's what I did with World's Finest, as well, ironically enough, as well, because of David. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm loving this. I just,
I don't know where it's gonna go, and that's
yeah,
what has me like really
I'm
hesitant because I
fine with
think
it.
even with that Joker year one I
I
think
don't like the
it
backup
this
story.
the synopsis of what follows that or for that it's like the effects of the Zernar and I'm like damn like Zdarsky's just stuck on Zernar and I don't like it. I think it's just flimsy and it's bleh. And here
I
well
like
I
that
also
it's
like
not really the main part of the story yet, but it's going to be.
yeah it's gonna be the Joker sitting on the throne in this like obvious nod killing joke. And even like some of the color scheme there too seems like the original
I
killing
also
of
feel
or the
like
original coloring.
that's we've seen this image before, not just Killing
Yeah,
Joke, but I
yeah, and the
feel like
killing
it
joke.
happened. No, but even before that, like I recently, I feel like in one
Recently,
of the Joker titles, I think when was it Gillian? Oh, how do you
Gillum.
pronounce his name? March was drawing. I think he was drawing Joker. I think he did something similar. So it's like it's just stuck in my head.
Gotcha. Okay.
Obviously, it's homage, but I'm just saying like I feel like an artist recently did
What do
this as
you?
well.
How do you feel about
Homage.
Joker knows who Batman is, and then staged the Wayne murders?
I like it in this story because Joker knows who Batman is, and it feels like Batman knows about the three Jokers. Like I think that makes sense. I kind of
Okay.
the quid pro quo. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things. But it's like we're just gonna keep this to ourselves. Like for the Joker, it's not really important for anyone else to know it other than him because he's like, oh, this is how I can mess with you. That's one thing he does, but he's not looking to really expose the identity. Because it's because he's like, yeah, I could use restraint and screw with Batman, but like it's all about Batman for him. But like I said, because
Yeah.
they know each other, I feel like it's worth it. And I'm dying to find out, and I don't care who writes it at this point anymore, what Batman knows from the chair from Metron's chair. I'm dying to find out what the hell
Oh yeah.
Omnius chair. I'm dying. Do you know what that
The
is? I know
Mobius
you're not.
chair.
That's it, Mobius. Thank you, appreciate it. Finally, Lauer.
Look
Yes,
at
I'm
that.
so happy.
Wow.
Yes. Oh my god. Yes, I'm so happy right now.
I really
I'm so
like the
happy.
Dark Side War.
Yeah.
I was
No,
I
I'm
was
happy.
late to the
I'm
game,
happy
but
you
when I
remember that.
finally read it, I really liked it.
Yeah. So I'm dying to find like some sort of like, like I'm like a crazy zaddy. Like I need to see the end of the arc. The 5 films, give them to me.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. That's I guess we'll just see. As I've said before, we'll just see like what happens after like following these this issue, and
I think we're on the same page though. We enjoy this cautiously because we know at the end of the tunnel it's nothing but rainbows.
yeah, a bunch of Skittles all over the place, and
I just want to stay in my dark corner.
yeah, let's just stay dark with a flashlight. But I mean, as I say every time I come up, based on this issue alone, I wrote a review for BOF and I gave it a favorable review, and I think you and I just gave it a favorable review, and we'll see where it goes. But I mean, as far as this issue alone, this is a good issue.
I've enjoyed. I have been. I feel like since Zdarsky brought Keaton back in that one page, I've enjoyed Batman again.
Oh, all right,
his Batman time, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not like Justin. I'm going to give these things a shot. I'm not just like, oh, I saw the internet. I don't like it.
Oh, Justin Kowalski. He's a good chap.
Actually, I would like to make a declaration. I'm glad you have this platform. Going into the holiday season, it's ho 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 Kowalski. Meanwhile, traditionally it's Kowalski. So just seasonal
ho ho ho
seasonal
Kowalski.
See, it's kind of fun to say.
Yeah, it works. All right, done.
Just
heard it here first, people.
Seasonal reminder.
Easier to spell out that way too, and really to really enunciate it correctly too.
I wouldn't say it's correctly, but it's the remix.
Kowalski.
Yeah.
I hope he likes it when he listens to this, because I know he listens. Pete, let's move on to the second Tuesday of the month. Your flagship title. Now, this month and next month is going to be a double ship of Detective Comics. So do you want to talk about this month's right now? Or do you want to talk about
let's just talk about the two
separate?
Okay.
Detective Comics 1077 and 1078, written by Ram V, with art by Jason Sean Alexander and Dave Stewart, colorist. So, have at it, Pete. What do you think?
I feel like this happens to me a lot more than happens to you.
What? Oh, like twice a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
right?
has. Yeah.
I'm like, this
ever
is
since the Arkham Tower.
Arkham Tower was like every week,
like 3 months.
Like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, I've never had that. But okay.
DC Comics. Dan DiDio never did this to me.
Oh, Dan. Miss you, Dan.
Miss you, Danny boy. Anyway, I actually like these two issues a lot more than most of the run. And what's consistent about that is the characters that V uses. It's not so much focused on Deborah and her six-eyed clan as much as it is how do we rescue Batman. And that's kind of cool to me because it's like a Batman mission without Batman. It's being led by Catwoman, and like I don't know what to call these people, and then her misfit group of the outsiders, right? You know, you got I believe you have the Cheshire Cats, both of them. So you have the Harper clan, you have Cassandra Cain, Jim Gordon, and Catwoman, and that's who's going to rescue Batman. I honestly don't remember or even know why Batman is even being hung, but it's very interesting. I'm seeing where it goes. V's writing of Mr. Freeze is actually pretty fantastic. He's also involved.
I want to get back to reminder, and then you can keep going. But because you just said it,
please,
shit, what'd you say? You forget, or you don't remember?
I don't remember why Batman's being hung. Yeah,
I don't either.
I don't remember how Batman got captured. I don't know how he got into the predicament he's in. But all I know is Batman's being hung because this woman with six eyes wants it. It seems like the public of Gotham is like, no, why are you hanging Batman? And now Catwoman has to save him. It all seems really like it seems pretty horrible, like just like story and plot wise. His writing of tactical like rescue, save, and his, you know, that whole like mission statement thing that works really well. And he's good at that. And his dialogue between characters is fantastic. Like I said, I think in 77, Jim and Selena had a fantastic a conversation at a bar. And Mr. Freeze has been really great throughout. Cassandra Cain's really been an interesting character. Grundy makes an appearance. The art's very good. It reminds me of Kelly Jones, who
that was interesting. I read that in your review that you wrote up, and
you don't think so?
Sienkiewicz. I got like some I think Bill Sienkiewicz. There's
a little bit in there, but like I don't know. The way
it reminded me of that,
drawn?
or Sam Keith, maybe Sam Keith. A mix of those, which I'm usually not a big fan of those two, but there's something with here.
Kelly's
like
not my favorite artist.
Worked better for me than those two usually do.
I like Kelly more than Keith. I think Keith is a little rough. Yeah. I could see where you would say. To me, they're kind of this. if Kelly Jones is listening, and this is an inaccurate statement, I apologize, but I feel like you and Sam Keith are very similar. you guys are the obscure Batman artists, within the
Gotcha.
kind of, you're popular, you're successful, you have long runs, but it's such a take that a lot of people, like myself, sometimes can't enjoy it. Like it's very hit or miss. But for me, this felt very Kelly to me, Kelly Jones.
Yeah. I'm with
And
you.
and I like that because it's like you could see that someone was inspired by them. Just because I'm not a huge fan doesn't mean it's not quality,
Yeah.
because
The
its track record speaks.
So I'm with you, and I did like these two issues more than the past. I don't know how many. Um, I don't know. I don't remember or the setup or anything. And see, and I got the fact of like the citizens of Gotham are fine with it. I don't know how this is even being allowed to happen. Like
Yeah, I don't know. I
that
thought there
seems
was
like
like
a
one
mystery to
panel of
me.
woman was like, "That's Batman, no," and I was like, "Okay,
But
yeah, I
but I
don't know,"
just don't. I don't want to go back and reread everything else
because
to
a
try
lot of
and
it's
figure it out.
yeah, it's
I
forgettable.
I just don't care that much. So I'm taking these
Yeah,
two of okay, these two issues alone. You know what? Let's just pretend this is the start of a story. And in that regard, it's kind of 2 for 2.
that's kind of why I gave them C's and C pluses. Like
You went B.
it's been. I did. Oh, all right, I
Yeah,
was
there you
generous.
go. But then it's like when they check in with whoever these bad guys are, I'm quickly like, don't and then how there's like a new rule
Yeah,
with the asthma, I think in 1077, where it was like, I read it as like, oh yeah, the asthma, it just relays his thoughts to me. And then moves on, where it's like, oh, you can just throw new rules in and just be like, oh yeah, by the
I
way,
actually forgot even what
there's
the
a
hell the
thing.
asthma is because it's yeah.
It just but the
It's a
rallying
very
of
forgettable
the
tale.
Selena's rallying of the troops, definitely a strength. Her talk with Gordon was a big highlight. Um, like Batman, it definitely feels old Western, which I didn't just come up with that on my own. I think Rom even tweeted something out like that a while ago. It felt Western on the way for the hanging in front of the town folk. Um, I'm like, okay,
I was
this
thinking more like
this I'm
Salem
cool.
Witch, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, sure, that too. Um,
They were probably burned, weren't they? Yeah, I
I'll
wasn't getting
read
Western vibes.
I'll read. I mean, I always read anyway, but it's like I'm not dreading the next issues. So we'll see where it goes next. Azrael
Yeah,
pops up. I
I
don't
agree
care
with
about
you. At
Azrael.
one point, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I'm like twice a month. I got to read this. I don't like this book really that much, like
Yeah.
I'm like, ah, geez. But it's not. I honestly think at one point early on it was terrible. I
Hmm.
don't think it's terrible anymore. But it's on an issue by issue basis.
Wait, but what about the backups?
Who?
The backup issue. I
Tony
don't read
Poach?
them.
Oh,
The backup
I
stories.
do. I don't know why it this isn't like 70s backups where it's like Batman and like here's an issue of Green Lantern. Like I know these have like some connective tissue to the main story. I just didn't think this was a good one.
Yeah.
I wasn't about it. And I feel bad because like I feel like the backup stories I've by Zdarsky I've enjoyed more than the primaries. This one I didn't enjoy.
Yeah. Same. So stick around for some more Detective Comics next month.
And that
Double
goes for
dipping.
Dan Waters and the backups of Detective. They were horrible, by the way.
I haven't enjoyed the Dan Waters backups.
He is definitely not the same Dan Waters I know and love from Returns. That's true. They're two different people.
Yeah. Also that Tuesday, Batman and Robin #3. For me, book is still meh. The coloring still bothers me. I don't really like Robin's vehicle. Story's not doing much for me. And I think what I don't like is that Damian gets to just tell Batman no, and Batman's like, okay. I don't know. That it seems from this approach of it is really trying to narrow in on a young audience and be like, yeah, be defiant. Yeah, here's your hero, your peer, Damien. And it's just like,
Well, that speaks to me, so
um,
screw you.
and then I was fuzzy on it because of Shush isn't working with Hush. And yet there's like a reference of something that happened in one of the previous 2 issues. And I'm like, oh, I read both of those issues and I'm not necessarily remembering this. And so I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm losing a lot of interest in this. I don't know how much longer I'm going to read it. So you'll be the man to go to each month because you love it.
I
Your
love this
favorite
book.
comic book
This
of all
book's so
time.
much fun. This book's great. I love how Damien's just he's like a lovable badass now instead of an obnoxious troll. Um, I dig it. I think Shush
Written
is
by
pretty cool.
Joshua Williamson, art
Mhm.
Simone DeMeo.
I
I need
love
to get that
DeMeo's
out there.
art.
Sorry, I didn't mention them.
And did he color the DeMeo color the book as well?
I think so. Because in
Yes.
looking, it just says artist and cover artist Simone DeMeo, but then there's no credited colorist. So
Yeah,
I
I
just
like the
assumed he
tone
did
of
it
the
all.
book, like the visual tone of the book. I like this. This is cool.
Mhm.
Harley Quinn's doing a similar style, although I think this does it a lot better. I'm the only thing I really don't like, honestly, is Damien's vehicle. I'm with you on that, but that's my only nitpick. I'm into it. I just tweeted out yesterday. I want to see Shush and Punchline in a team up book. I think they're pretty cool. I'm all in on this. I have so much fun with this book. I love Batman and Robin. I'm really excited to read it every week, and it's just a fun little romp.
Where was the moment that Batman discovered she was like that he got tipped off that she was working with Hush? Because I thought she went somewhere in the first issue and we saw a man in the shadows, and that's like the only time we've gotten anything that makes you think it's Hush. And yet here he says, "Where's Hush? Why are you working with him? What's the game this
I
time?"
just think that's Batman talk. He's
I
trying to
don't
get
know.
an answer. I think he took a guess.
Just
He's
never led
trying to
to it. It was
figure it
just
out.
like, hey.
Yeah, I think he just, I don't know, maybe he had a gut, he went with his gut and he just figured shush, hush. I don't know. Like, it's not overly complicated. I get what you're saying. It's just kind of, but to me, this is like what fun Batman and Robin comics are kind of about. Like, it doesn't have to be that deep or crazy or whatever. That's what I have Detective Comics trying to do, right? Like, and it's not working. So, like, for them to do something just kind of action oriented, I'm all about it.
Hmm. I don't know.
But I think he's just doing detective work. I think he's just trying to figure it out.
Okay. All right. Let's move on then, Pete. Okay. This is where you and I are disagreeing. And thus next month, it just wows me.
Okay.
Third Tuesday in November. Pete, we had
Mhm.
Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 21. Let's see, it's your turn
And
to
it
go
was a
first.
return of one of your favorite characters.
Magag.
I was like, I read this. I was like, oh man, Lauer, is he gonna get this? Does he know?
I
Does he
knew
remember?
you were gonna say something as soon as I
Are you
as soon
kidding?
as he
Yeah,
appeared.
I was like, this
I was
is
like,
a
oh,
Geoforce Part 2. Here we go.
yep,
It's
here we
just
go.
digging
Good
in
old
the
G
heel.
Force starring hamsters. Carry on.
I still don't know what the hell that is.
I know you don't.
This is cool. This is
Get with the
essentially
program. You don't know G Force? Gosh, you call yourself a comic book fan, even though it's not a comic book, it's a movie. Anyways.
Anyway, right, really, I haven't back the book. I didn't even wish my podcast. This is kind of like a sequel prequel to Kingdom Come, right? At this point, it's kind of what we're getting at. I kind of like where it's going. I think it's, oh man, like where this book has gone since that first arc has been a completely different trajectory than I thought it was going to go. Wade has really been crushing it. I love the introduction to the Kingdom Come verse. I like seeing all those characters back. I like the interactions. I'm interested to see what Magog has over the heroes that make. Yeah, I mean, you know who that is. Everything about the book is just fascinating. I can't wait to get my hands on it next issue. I liked the raw emotions of Superman throughout the book, and Wade is just on fire. And who drew this? Dan Mora. Are we not blessed?
No,
oh my god!
I mean, you and I love Dan Mora.
That 89 oval on that, even on Bill's favorite blue and gray suit, it looks amazing. I got to say, just overall, just really impressed with this story in particular. I'm dying to find out what happens to David, how he becomes Magog, and that whole, I've loved this David story since the first issue. I can't wait to find some sort of conclusion, but I'm enjoying the ride.
I'd be curious. I want to ask if Garrett's reading these, because it's of people that I know, he's the biggest Kingdom Come fan.
I don't know how he's not, because the covers should make him buy them.
Yeah,
right. Covers alone, like Kingdom Come's very prevalent on the covers, and they're selling that specifically.
As for me, I love this issue. I love last month's issue.
Yeah,
Both
it's
of
really
these
good
I think
too.
are great. It's really fun how you're getting the Batman versus Batman, Superman versus Superman. Um, Praise be to Gag, good old McGag. Um, but I don't I think it's interesting. I think Wade is doing some cool stuff. I think the dialogue's fitting. It's not like too eye rolling. It's just like it's interesting, and then the art just complements all of it because Mora's fantastic.
It's
Um,
just vintage weight, man.
it just I don't know. It's clicking for me. I think it's great, and I do like this, like you said, kind of like a prequel Kingdom Come because you get to see Batman in that Kingdom Come suit for the first time. Get a quick shot of him and Alfred in the Batcave, which is always like, yeah,
Yeah, I love
Batcave.
that. I gotta say, I've really warmed up to this Batman Kingdom Come suit. I did not like it when I originally saw it, like in the
Same.
90s.
Mm-hmm. I didn't
But
either.
like,
I
I
was
don't
like, what
know
the
if it's
hell is
because of
that?
the McFarlane figure that came out too, and now this story. I'm like, I gotta buy that figure.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
really warming up to it.
What'd you think of Nightwing showing up?
Ah, man, did he look fantastic as Chris
He
O'Donnell?
did. He did. He did. Yeah.
I appreciated that. I was like, oh, I like that a lot. Okay, this is cool. This is okay. I like this. This is nice. I enjoy it. It's just, it hits the spot, right? Like
Mhm.
this is a Kowalski book. This
Ho
is this is
ho ho Kowalski.
there we go. This is a
Thanks.
good
Last time I'll do
example
it.
of a great Kowalski book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should love this, I think. I feel like he should.
Yeah.
And then of course, it's a good shot for the greater DC universe fans of that last page where everybody's coming. Everybody shows up. And Mora
You can see some of
Mora
them are a
knocks
little
that out of the
remixed,
park.
you know, some
Yeah,
costumes are slightly different. I
that
appreciate that.
T-Rex though. That T-Rex looks great.
I thought Peacemaker looked pretty interesting.
Peacemaker,
I was like, ooh,
yeah.
that's forefront. I'm trying to think who else looks. Is that Cheetah? Supergirl looks like she's wearing a bit of a different outfit.
Jonah Hex.
Metamorpho.
Jonah Hex in the bottom left, next to the T-Rex. He's got like a gun, like it seems like a metal arm, and then like a gun
cyborg.
attached. Yeah, a little cyborgish.
Batwoman's wearing a different outfit. Donna Troy's got her black outfit. John Stewart's got a scar on his face. I don't know who is popping out of the black portal behind Hal Jordan.
I
don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I see Zatanna in there. You know, like I'm just like Starman looks like Batwing all the way in the back. So, you know,
There's a lot. I think I don't know.
there's some sort of werewolf with bat wings.
4 issues or 5 issues for this arc, but so far 2 for 2. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's great. Looks great. Story's
Ted
fun.
Cord, Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle look like they combined into one. So there's a lot of great stuff in here.
Keep it going, Mark Waid, Dan Mora. Great things. Oh,
Right,
let's
Lauer.
see. Yeah, the Lauer Standard. Pete, there's a new comic book Batman series that kicked off this month called Batman Off-World. This was written by Jason Aaron. I'm trying to find the artist's name. I apologize. Oh, Doug Mank, Monkey, Doug M. Let's go to the good old Doug M. Now, you and I talked the other day, and I told you I started reading this one night when I was laying in bed, and I got about 3 pages in it, and I said, no. This is Cosmic Batman. Cosmic is just not my genre, not my thing. Does not mean that something's bad just because it's not my thing. I waited, and I did say I'm going to read this issue at least. And so then a couple days after I'd started, I ended up reading it, and I found it to be better than my initial feelings. I don't know that I will last all 6 issues of this series because it really just isn't my thing. But I think the art is good. I think the coloring by David Barron is good. The story, like, it makes sense. It won me over more the further along I got, and how it explained a little bit how Batman got to where he is and what he's doing. But it's just like, it's not my thing. So I don't know.
This is a bad Kowalski book.
It's a bad.
I did not enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my World's Finest, great example of a good one.
As in, Kowalski will like this, but you're like, boo. Is that what you mean by bad Kowalski?
He'll like this. He'll like
Okay.
this just because it's
All right.
Batman in space.
Yeah.
Like he'll
He'll be like, that's rad.
Justin's too stubborn not to like this. But
All
this
right.
book, I mean, I get it. I understand what Batman's doing. It looks like he's dropped off at that bar before Han Solo shoots the blue alien. Like
Yeah.
that's the vibe I'm getting. Like I just don't care. I'm moving on to the next. I read this for the show. Doug, how do you pronounce his last name? Monkey?
Yeah, I don't know. I forget.
Art's
I've looked
fantastic.
stuff up. Yeah, Doug M.
Really great
BBC
art.
rules. Batman Book Club
Yeah,
rules. Doug M.
yeah,
Art's
fantastic
great.
artist. Everything I didn't like about the story, the aliens, all that jazz looks great. I just don't care about the story. I'm not into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's not brought up again on this show, it's just because Pete and I stopped reading it.
We'll give this the Batman reptilian treatment. We'll just let it fade away.
Yep. Well, you know, at least we gave it a shot. There are some
reptilian we gave like a solid 2-3 issues, I think.
Yeah. There's some other Batman books we don't even start because we're like, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Like Batman Beyond, Neo Gothic, whatever it is. I gave you 2
No, we gave that a shot.
Yes,
we gave that a shot.
There's another we gave a whole volume a shot.
Another one we didn't do. Okay. Anyways, Pete, let's move to the final Tuesday of the month because this is a big one. All right. This is a big one. Batman 89 Echoes #1. And you get to kick us off.
Oh, the controversy of this story.
Boy. Oh boy.
Let me get this
is
out
what the people paid for, okay? They got their tickets for this book.
I don't give 2 shits about Alicia. I never
spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. We're going to talk about the issue.
We're
not going to hold back anything.
Full spoilers here because you guys are actually insane. I had no idea that seeing Alicia in 2 panels was going to cause so much ruckus on the internet.
A bunch
One,
of
we don't really know her. We never saw her after she supposedly, threw herself out a window. To me, like, I don't even know really, like, is this a direct continuity to 89 or returns? Like, where is this? Is this the Ham version? Like in Sam's version of 89, does Alicia like live? I don't know. Like, whatever. It's a cute little Easter egg for fans. That's really all it is. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I liked everything with Barbara and Alfred. Seeing Stern and Madonna was awesome. That was, as Crane. I'm into it. And even somebody pointed out there was a reference to an old Batman serial actor. I believe Bill pointed out in his review.
Yeah, Robert Lowry.
That was cute. I liked that. And Quinones' art's good. I imagine there's some likeness rights to some characters. That's what we assumed last time. But I think he draws a hell of a book. I really enjoyed this. I was just telling Ryan off air, I've got to reread Batman 89 to figure out why some people don't like it. Because like some people, like I remember Hobby came at me on Twitter and he's like, "Oh, typical Sam Ham Burton verse, the villain."
I'm convinced Hobby doesn't like you.
I'm totally convinced still. Like, well, dude, like even in Batman Returns that he didn't write, Catwoman steals the show. Like in those 2 movies, they've always been more about the villain. That was a complaint about those movies. They were always more about the villain. So like I don't get the complaints. This is standard for what we've seen with a Keaton-esque Batman movie. So I don't know.
I remember
I'm having fun.
I remember my feelings reading the first issue of Batman 89, and I felt a little let down. I don't know what I was expecting, but I expected more than what I got that first issue. And we covered that.
Never felt that.
Kowalski and Haas were on, and we talked about that book. Oh my gosh, it was over a year ago.
I've never been in that boat. Like since this book has come out, I've loved it. I really have.
When I swear we talked about it last year.
Am I Keaton shill? Like I don't know what to say. Like I've just enjoyed this. I don't get the complaints.
Episode 121, September of last year, episode 121. We all talked about Batman 89 in full. I remember Haas loved it, Justin hated it, and I was in the middle of I liked it. It was a little bit like leaning more positive than just I liked it. After reading this first issue of this one, though, like, man, I loved this issue, which is hilarious also because, spoiler alert, we didn't even see Bruce Wayne until the very last page. When we see Batman at the beginning and that teaser image that we're seeing that Quinones has, released and everything is a fake Batman. So I think Justin had told you and me even of like a Dark Knight nod. That's where I think he was talking about. I like the world building and Bob Hoskins. So there you go. Mario himself, Hoss, is good old Bullock back. I need to reread 89 and look at it again to see if he looked like Bob Hoskins so much in that. I think that there's like some good story building here. There's planting some seeds here of like, as she even said too, she guessed of, like this is yet another person that has freaked out when they saw the Batman and shot and killed a person. And she asked right away, let me guess, is he a vet? And he's like, yeah, how'd you know? She's like, oh, lucky guess. And you go to the interrogation room and you find out later on a link with this Dr. Crane and how he was working with the VA and stuff. And it's like, okay, cool. It's just feeling a little patient, I think. And I really like that, and creating a little intrigue of where we left with Barbara and Bruce, and now where she's still holding up to that bargain, but you can tell that she's like very hesitant of
and she wants to know what happened to Harvey. She wants to know Alfred. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, which is some great stuff left over from the last one. And so she even goes and
for those of us who liked the last one,
to Wayne Manor, and we get a little Alfred, R.I.P. Goff. And I mean, the stipulation, she wants to meet Bruce, and she's like, I need to talk to Bruce. I give you what she say, like 2 days or something like that until, or else like basically it's coming out. I'm planting those seeds of stuff. The Alicia thing, which, yeah, I'm so with you of like, yes, right away. I was like, Alicia, interesting. And I think I told Haas, I really quickly thought like, wait, am I not remembering 89 like I thought? And then instantly I was like, no, I remember it. And it's like Joker, it was a Joker line. And that was it. So we don't know.
That's it.
It's open.
We never see
You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
To me, it's no different than want to know how I got these scars.
Yeah, and I think that's a valid, comparison. And so it is, I don't know, it's just open. I don't care. Let me see where it goes, like in this story, I'm
just like the Joker's supposed to be like the most unstable person, the most irrational. Like, I know he's a criminal genius and stuff like that, but like, we're supposed to take him for everything he says seriously. Like, yeah, he's the Joker. He's going to make horrible jokes, right? Like, and this would be one of them about somebody's life, correct? I don't know.
We'll see. Like, in the end, I'm
again, it's my character's still minor. It may not even pop. What if Joker has a bunch of Alicias? I don't know. For years, we've been like mentally retconning Alicia as Harley Quinn in our heads, and now that she's brought back for 2 panels, like people can't finish the book. It's just
that's the talking point of the issue too. It's kind of wild, but I'll tell you, it always gets me though of some of these little these looks. So definitely from Returns, when Barbara's sitting on the couch after Alfred's made the fire, like that is flat out a shot from Returns of when Bruce and Selina are on the couch. Like that gets me giddy. When they're in like the Gotham Globe, Thomas Wayne murdered paper, all these things that are drawn from that 89 movie and sometimes Returns. It just gets me giddy, just the look of it. So I love that stuff. I love the ACN. I love that behind whoever this dick producer guy is are little monitors of Jack and Joker from that first movie. Like that gets me giddy. And I think I don't know, like it's a great setup of Harley Quinn and Jonathan Crane. I'm really interested of what these versions are going to be like. And then the biggest,
what if Alicia jumped out the window and she ran away? Like, what if she was just on the second story?
Well, Sofia Falcone Gigante, she fell out a window, and look, she came back.
I don't
Probably
know,
from a higher window,
like Max Shrek.
Yeah,
I just don't get like. I never even thought of Alicia after the movie, like after the apartment scene anyway. So it's like she's such a minor character.
But then at the end, and this is the biggest one of them all, is they're after Firefly, Robert Lowry, and unmasked. That guy is Bruce Wayne. I think that's maybe like, I don't know, like
what did Dr.
best
Crane do?
Yeah, the best like WTF of this whole issue is that. But my question to you, help me figure this out, is he shoots himself in the leg. Why? I thought that I was misinterpreting, and I read it a second time, and I'm like, no, he flat out shot himself in the leg. Why'd he do that? I don't know. Maybe we're not supposed to know.
Maybe we're not supposed to know, but I feel like there's got to be some subconscious thing where that's Batman coming through.
Yeah, and I hope that does come through, because that just really had me scratch my head of like, Also, the whole Doctor Strange was never Hugo Strange was never referenced in the first book, right?
I don't think so. I thought
Okay.
that caught my eye when they said. I was like, "Ooh, Strange too."
You're not Doctor
I'm
Strange.
not
I
usually
asked
a
to
Strange
see
guy.
Dr. Hugo Strange. And so, I mean, I'm interested. I'm like, okay, cool. Like we're off and running with this series. And I'm excited. This left me much more excited than the first issue, the last book. So I think it's off to a great start. You know what? And why don't they bring back Bob next issue too, just to piss off people?
I'm all for that.
He was wearing a bulletproof vest in the movie. He's fine.
As he should be.
Let's move on. I know I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time on that one. So I think the last Batman book that we haven't talked about, because Batman the Brave and the Bold, number 7, Pygmalion, part 2.
Interesting conclusion. Very
Not a conclusion. There's
well,
one more. It concludes next month.
Yes, you're right. Well, a conclusion to who this Batman is. Let's put it that.
This is your boy Gillum March.
Yeah, I
good old
like the
GM.
story. I think this is very interesting. I like that it's kind of this. It's not Batman. I kind of thought it was.
Right. Okay. So yes, it improved upon last issue. In which last issue, I remember I told you even of like, Pete, this feels very familiar. We've been down this road and blah blah blah. So when Gordon basically traps him on the roof, and then the real Batman stands up, then it's like, oh, okay.
And he does so in such an awesome panel. It's great.
Yeah, cool. And it's like I leaned in a little bit more, and I'm like, okay, well now this is actually like, this is kicking ass now, and it makes me want to go back and read the first part, because I don't know, it obviously everything flips as soon as that happens, because you spend a little bit of time questioning of like, wait, hold on, is this new imposter Batman or the bearded guy imposter I thought it was just really cool, and I thought it was really well done, and of course with good old GM, the art always looks good, so I really like the art in this too. And the last page of the two Batmen coming down, like jumping off GCPD, and I mean it even says to be concluded, maybe next month, I think next month. And yeah, it's fun story, good story. Totally up the ante this month.
I really liked the twists and turns, and there were even like the twists and turns of Batman at the end being, "Hey, you're gonna need this," or like whatever you say, bring the but I want it back. It's I was like, it's nice to see Batman have moments like that. And I think for the right reasons, I think he did it. So like I was all for it, because sometimes they can not work,
Yeah.
There's Lauer. I am
Verra.
scouring the app right now because there's something I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what issue it is, and you brought it up to me because you mentioned Alfred R.I.P. Is Alfred? Did we see? Was there a panel that you saw somewhere where Alfred was hanging from a fire escape in a book, or am I jumping the gun here?
I think you're jumping the gun.
Okay, because I wanted to talk about that because I was like,
I'm not seeing. I don't remember coming across that. Unless you read Batman Incorporated. I'm just kidding.
No, maybe I did. I'm scouring. I'm even looking through Batman Godzilla.
No, I don't remember this in any book.
Unless it was
investigate, and in 31 days we'll talk about it again and see if we found it. Also in this Brave and the Bold, as they've been doing, the last story has been a black and white story. This one, it's called The Wager, written by one of our favorites, Pete, Matthew Rosenberg, with art by Matteo Scalera. I thought, and then when Etrigan popped in this, I started to get a little hesitant, but you know what? I thought this was great.
Okay, I found it. But I actually didn't like this Rosenberg story.
You didn't like it? Okay.
No, I wasn't keen on it. And it's kind of a bummer because I love Rosenberg and everything he's been doing with Joker and stuff. Yeah, this story was kind of meh.
Man to you. Okay.
I like the
I
black
like
and white aspect, but
you do.
overall, I like the black and white art. I think
There's
that's
some
cool.
great shots. Like the first page
Yeah,
is
oh
where
yeah.
he's on a fence and like the architecture, and
Hmm.
then there's another one like more zoomed out of cityscape at night with snowing.
Art wasn't the issue. It was the story just
No,
didn't
it
hit
was
with
a
me.
story. It just didn't work. And Etrigan usually doesn't work for me. I don't like Etrigan. I don't
Yeah,
give a shit about
that's
Etrigan.
part of it. Like I feel like the only time I enjoyed Etrigan was his very brief appearances in the Flashpoint movie. Um,
It
you know
worked, I
what I
think,
did?
because he showed up like in 2 pages, and then he was at the very end, and so that's just
Mhm.
how I was able to. I think he's very limited. I
Okay,
think that's why it was okay.
I
Anyway,
think the Aquaman story was the best story of the book.
I didn't read
You should. It's really good. And
it.
part of the hype for the movie, I think you should read it. I think it was very, very
Read
good.
it on the Aquaman book club.
Yeah, after we record SOG, the Hulk Book Club.
There you go.
Yeah, but no, it's funny because like it's. I wish they would just take Batman off the title. Just call this Brave and the Bold.
Brave and the Bold.
Just do
Yeah.
that because like if you're including Aquaman in this title, like it's such a stretch to call it Batman: The Brave and the Bold. Because Batman's not in the story. Like it'd be different if they were teaming up, Kowalski
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
But he's not. But it's still the best story in the book, in my opinion. So I think you should all read it. Don't pull an hour just because it's Aquaman. Aquaman's got a movie coming out, so support it.
Okay.
That's it. That's my soapbox
What you found, is that a tease for next month?
for Aquaman.
No, you said
Oh,
you found
no,
it.
no, the Alfred thing. I think I found I think I found it. It was in Nightwing.
Oh, okay.
So I was jumping. All my
That
Batman
one-
books get mixed together.
Okay. Well, that perfect segue then into our
Batman and
fun. You said it first.
Defense!
Let's go with the first one off the top. Joker, the man who stopped laughing. Number 12, the finale, Pete. I thought this was fun. I thought it was bloody.
Yeah.
I thought it was a hoot, a Joker train with a Joker blimp. Yes, please. A big old war, big old fight, and yeah, then the two Jokers, they really just beat the shit out of each other. And then I love the panels of like they're at each other's throat. Next panel, they're laughing and best friends. Next panel, they're fighting again. Like I love all that stuff. I love that it's left. There is a conclusion, but the Joker that comes out of the water, you don't know exactly which one that is. So and it can, and I really want
It's very
to
Freddy versus Jason.
Yes. I really want to reread the whole series now too.
This
because I
is
just think
going to be
great.
a collected buy. Like this is totally hardcover. This is going to stand up with, in my opinion, like my recent hardcovers, which are 89 Imposter, and it'll be Man Who Stopped Laughing. This was everything you wanted to be. This is why I love Rosenberg. Like I will let that short story, put it away, forget about it, never care about it again. I will love this forever. This is fantastic. It makes me wonder, is this like, what has Joker been doing again? Like, and again ties into the Mobius chair. Not, but what the hell is it called? I keep forgetting its name.
I think you got it.
Mobius
I mean,
chair.
I said Mobius chair, and
Because now
you
I'm
said
thinking
I
of the
was
guy
right.
from Loki, but you've got Metatron's chair. You've got three Jokers, the little nugget in Batman. Now you have this with the two Jokers in this. Like, I kind of like how Joker's like, I'm going to make a Joker factory and screw with people. Like, I think it's kind of cool. I love this story so much. It's so much fun. I cannot wait to read it cover to cover in like one sitting. And I love that the Joker blimp has the old school, like, Joker. You would find that on like a
Logo.
Joker motorcycle or a Joker van or like some sort of toy, right? Like, like
That's
it's the
isn't
old
that the
school
Joker face that's on the 89 jackets
I think it's similar. I
in
don't
the
know.
movie? Close.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. This is probably a little bit more like Joker 70s Joker, comic book style.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But it's similar. You got the right idea. Like it's just that like I kind of like it every once in a while when a villain brands his element of destruction.
It gets his workers some apparel, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, because if you're gonna bomb a city, I guess you got everyone's got to know who did it.
They got to know who did it. Yes. I also continued reading Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong #2. This was a heavy Batman issue because there's a big old monster in Gotham City that the Bat family is taken down. Like I said, after last month's debut issue, feels more like Super Friends kind of vibe, a little more serious, not that like cheesy, but it's obviously a full Justice League book, but Batman's present in it, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun next chapter.
This book is so good. It's so much better than I thought it would be. The Batman stuff was excellent. I love the teamwork. I love the two Batwings in the air. I thought the tactical aspect of Batman was fantastic. Everything involving Superman was cool. I thought it was interesting how they decided to go with a Bat theme villain.
Yes.
Or a Bat theme
Yeah.
monster.
Monster.
I
Mhm.
would have much appreciated Rodan, right? Like if we're throwing Godzilla in the mix and everything, I was like, oh, why isn't Rodan in there? But why isn't Rodan the flying thing in Gotham? But that was really my only nitpick. But overall, I'm having a lot of fun with this book.
Mm-hmm. I think it's supposed to be 6 total. Yeah. So I mean, two in. It's fun.
Yeah, it's must buy.
Lastly, the Penguin number 4. Solid.
Oh, dude.
Solid
Whoa.
yet again.
Wow.
Good old Penguin. Goes to recruit his. How twisted is his ex?
Ozzy getting it in, baby. Ozzy getting it in.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, this twisted game that he plays with his ex, and he recruits her and her poor bodyguard, who's just being a bodyguard. But it's like the help had to swallow some pride, just because it was all part of the plan. But then basically the help got to go and just murder this dude because like, okay, you're good now, go ahead. And yeah, I mean, it's a twisted issue. It's still a little surprising to me. Like it's 4 issues in and it's still building the crew, it feels. So I'm really curious when Tom King, this was written by Tom King. I'm Daniel Samper. No. Rafael de la Torre. Sorry. And Marcelo Mayolo. I'm sorry. The colorist. I'm curious when King gets them to that. Okay, we've built the crew. What's next? You know, I'm curious with that because just these 4 issues, I think are really, really good. But he's taking his time spending 1 issue on just recruiting basically this one person. And he did that with issue number 2 with the help. The whole issue was just recruiting one person. Issue 3
sometimes the slow burn works, man.
Exactly. But that's where it doesn't feel slow or like or anything. It's just like, no, it's just patient, but he's doing a really good job with the writing to have you hooked the whole time.
Yeah. It's funny. Tom King can write really well with a lot of words or no words at all. And you know, like there's so many issues of his. I mean, I feel like we mentioned this a lot, but like there's so many issues of his old Batman run where there's just like nothing spoken.
You could read it in 3 minutes. There's no words.
There's no dialogue. And then something like this, which is like I'd say this is pretty heavy dialogue.
There is.
You know, I was like, I kind of like how King's versatile. You know, it's just it's cool. But I'm loving this Penguin story. I can't wait. This is really getting me going for some Ozzy on TV.
And your juices going now, Peter.
What people do here.
There you go.
Doing me. I'm just a lower. What people read here ain't got nothing to do
That's
with
the
me.
worst Spanish I ever heard. All right, that's all I got. Batman and Friends. What do you got?
For me, Nightwing. Nightwing is kind of just like happening. I don't really care about the story.
I didn't read it in time because I was like, I haven't cared.
It does have the backup story I thought was actually better than the primary, which has a reference to an old detective comic issue from 1949. So I'll have to try to track that down, Detective 154.
Spoiler alert. So
but
Alfred hangs in it?
So I don't know, but like if you look it up on the box, tell me what you think. Like go to the end of the backup story. Like to me, this looks like Alfred is dangling from a fire escape and some random kids just found him in an alley. Like, so I'm wondering, is Alfred back? Like, can we just be a little bit more upset about how Alfred returned instead of Alicia?
Well, also that'd be weird if this is the case that it's happening in a backup of a Nightwing story. Like it needs to be
it's not
thing
really, if you
Batman
remember
book.
King's Nightwing run, like Alfred left his inheritance to Dick.
Huh, that's interesting that
which is why Dick was, he was able to build that apartment complex and all that jazz and, kind of take on Blockbuster for a while as in the city. But like, to me, that looks like Alfred. No, like he's wearing
Isn't that the villain that, I mean, just scamming through, isn't that the villain that he just fought like 2 pages before?
Is that what it is? Because like, I don't know.
He's
like,
got a, he's got a pencil mustache. The villain's got a pencil mustache.
Yeah, you're right.
Um,
I got
okay.
excited.
You had me.
I was like, is that Alfred? Like
Hey,
you
I'd
mentioned
like
Alfred
Alfred
RP
back.
and I got confused. But yeah, that is the villain.
I
I
would
was like,
like
wait, hold on
Alfred
a
back,
second.
but it should definitely be done like in a Batman book, like Batman Detective Comics, something like that.
Yeah,
Not
like my
Nightwing.
fanboy mind just went crazy. I was like, oh wait,
Right.
Alfred's back. Is that?
Sorry
I
to
got really
disappoint,
excited.
Peter.
I actually didn't notice the pencil mustache until you pointed it out. He's always because he's in the shadows a lot. Now I see it. Oh wow, it's
Yes,
so
the
funny.
shadows.
That's so funny. I really thought that was Alfred. I got very excited.
All right, soon, hopefully,
I
somewhere.
don't know.
That's Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Alfred comes back and he saves him.
He would come back in an out of continuity book.
Yeah. Why not?
I really liked Poison Ivy 16 also, just really quickly.
Mhm.
The story really hits close to home because it's about a virus.
Oh,
So like there's a
God.
lot of yeah. So it's like I don't know if it's too soon, but I'm like, this is
Too
kind of
soon.
and Catwoman 59 is just a fun, like kind of international romp. If you've been following Catwoman recently, Valmont, it involves him and Catwoman going to see like his Duchess or whatever. So that's a cool little
In this
international
first
story. And they
post
bring the
Gotham
purple
War.
suit back. Yes. And they
Okay.
bring the purple suit back, which is prevalent on the cover. So
Great.
Catwoman fans of Jim Ballant in the 90s will be very happy. But I've enjoyed Catwoman. It's
Rock on.
to me, it's more steady than Nightwing.
Cool. Nightwing's fun. It's just I don't
Why is he
really
on a
care
pirate
about
ship?
this
I don't get
pirate
it.
story.
Yeah.
I was at like 2 issues.
They got me
before
really
this
excited.
month.
I thought they brought Alfred back.
Yeah.
I
And so
still
then
can't believe that.
I'm
I
just like,
can't
I don't
believe
know.
I got so confused.
Maybe once the arc's over, then I'll hop back in. But I wasn't feeling it. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't get it.
Pete,
But whatever.
let me ask you just one question. What was your favorite issue this month?
Wow. I have to say it would probably be like a tie,
Ooh.
a 3-way tie between World's Finest 21, Joker 12, and Batman Godzilla.
Wow. Justice
Because
League.
Godzilla. Batman
Come on,
Godzilla, Justice League. It's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. They're all just really fun books to read.
Okay, I'm almost with you because mine's really tough if I'd have to choose between World's Finest 21 and then Batman Echoes. 89 Echoes. I really
That's
like
good.
Echoes #1 a lot. And yeah, World's Finest, I thought. It'd be more unexpected for me to like World's Finest, which just shows you that then Mark Waid is doing something really good. Not that I don't, it's just, you know how I like my Batman, Peter.
Like your coffee.
It dips
Strong.
with cream.
Strong. Strong.
Oh, okay. Strong. Yes, I like Batman strong, not weak. That'll do it.
Not weak like Ron B's Detective Batman.
You said it. I didn't say it.
I did. I'll say it.
Yep, you'll say it. Thanks for coming back, Pete. You're always coming back. Always like you coming back. Get out of here, Paul Herman. Make way for the Verra.
That's right, Paul. Teams don't move out of my area because of me.
No, teams from other cities come to your area.
That's right.
Why don't you go ahead and plug away in case people don't know where to find you and what you're
you
up
can
to.
find me socially on the media at Pete Illustrated.
Socially on the media.
Yes. You could follow my exploits on the fanboy genre at Straight Outta Gotham at straight_O_G on both Instagram and Twitter. That is a show I co-host with the champion of Long Island, the greatest man of all time, Eric Fitzgerald Holzman. You could also listen to my Spider-Man theme podcast at Italians for Spidey on Twitter. That is the Italian Spider-Man Coalition, and we have an episode that just dropped before the end of the month, so we got it out early. It's usually a nice little competition. What gets dropped first, the Batman Book Club or Italians for Spidey, because they both rely on the end of the month. Like the second issue of Spider-Man always ships late, so it's a 2-monther. 2-monther, and then BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube, Batman on Film podcast.
Yes.
I did a couple shows with Justin Kowalski covering Aquaman and Superman casting, and then I did a wonderful show on the Penguin with Ryan Lauer here talking all thing Oswald and Fish. So if and it's got some nice Nice little chit chat for that.
And as
So,
we all learned, the Penguin is getting it in.
that's right. Apparently, Nazi's been getting it in all over the place, man. I mean, Matt
Good for
Reeves, come on.
Yeah.
So
Give
yeah,
us that scene. Anyways.
maybe we'll do another character themed centric show. Me and Lauer will do some research because he's the only guy I trust to actually put in the work.
Oh,
I gave Kowalski an assignment and he still hasn't finished reading it. So yeah.
All right.
I can always
Done.
count on Ryan.
There we go. Yep. It's what I do.
That's what I do.
That defines me.
Now, for everyone who's wondering, I hope you took a shot every time Justin's name was dropped during this episode, because right now you're hammered.
Yeah, there's a lot. And just so you know, Justin and Kowalski both count for the game, not just
That's right.
literally
Yeah.
Justin. It's Justin Kowalski.
The
That's a double
Batman
right
Book
there.
Club drinking game. That's fun.
Yeah.
Look at that. We just did something fun here.
Woof. All right. Can't wait. I'm gonna re-listen to this and I will get hammered. I'll let you know. As for the Batman Book Club, follow on Twitter and Instagram at the Batman BC for latest episode drops, upcoming episodes, sometimes even some giveaways. Make sure you subscribe to the Batman Book Club YouTube channel, where Pete and I have a nice backlog of the Road to No Man's Land, and it is our goal in 2024, Pete. We are going to hop into
It's going to
No
happen
Man's
again. It's gonna
Land
happen.
Omnibus Volume 1. It's going to happen. Promise. I also hope to put up video versions of the One Bad Month episodes with Paul on there too, in case that's your preference for listening. And also
So you can see the man
us.
who kicked the Sonics out of Seattle.
Yeah, you can put a face with the name.
That's
Paul
right.
Herman, P Thug. If you want to review this show, or if you want to help support the show, let's go with that way first. Variety of ways you can do that. Like I said at the top of the show, patreon.com/thebatmanbc. Join the others who have generously helped support the show there. You can be one of them, and I'll give you a shout out on the show. You can also support the show going to tpublic.com and typing in TBBC for the Batman Book Club, where you can get some cool t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, notebooks, all with the great logo created by Justin Kowalski. There's 2 more right there, slapped all over it. But if you don't want to spend any money to support the show, it's 100% A-OK. The easiest, quickest, most impactful thing you can do is rate and review the show wherever you listen to it. So whether that's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, iHeartRadio, just go to the rate and review page and help rate and review the show, because the more reviews the show gets, the more it helps spread the word. And as Pete and I both know, that word is panic.
Oopsies.
So for the Italian, I am Ryan Lauer. And until next time, remember, guys.